You guys have a lot of questions. This is going to be like weekend edition on speed. Okay, first question from Captain Chris Cash. What is the difference between your two YouTube channels? That's actually kind of easy. The Praxis channel shows how I grow things and demonstrates different techniques for growing things. Generally, not all the time, because I don't like to be held down to a certain type of thing. But generally that's what I like to do on that channel. This channel is for miscellaneous odds and ends and scraps that I have no idea what to categorize as. Part 2. Where do you get those blue pots that you use for planters indoors? The blue pots? I got the blue pots and the red ones at the same time at Walmart. I got like big old stacks of them. They were on sale for like $1 each or something like that. Yeah, they were really, really cheap. On to the next one. Staten Island Slim. He has 2 questions. 1, how many of those CFL bulbs are you using? I don't know, 1 million? Right now I'm using 11. But I plan on increasing that to around about 15. Question number 2, how far away are the plants from the bulbs? I like to keep the plants just a few inches away from the bulbs when they're growing because that gives them maximum amount of light. I mean, if you're going to have a bright bulb but you're going to have it way far away from your plant, what's the point, huh? Okay, next question is from Wattle D. the 2006. Okay, that's an odd name. Wattle the 2006 has 2 questions. Have you ever had tomato hornworms on plants you brought inside? No. Oh, part 2 of the question, how do you get rid of them without hurting the plants? You pick off the worm and throw it away. Throw it away. You throw it away. Did you get that? You throw it away. Then you turn yourself in your chair, take a bite of your cookie, and you go on to the next question. Okay, next one, Ayun piece. I guess that's how you pronounce it. Well, if it's not, what can you do? Ayun piece asks, how did you know what plants put out extra roots when planted deeper? I tried it with different plants. It was just experimenting, you know. I thought, ooh, what happens if I bury this sucker up to the top? And sometimes I killed the plant, sometimes I didn't. Most of what I know is from messing things up, you know. I tried things, they didn't work. I thought, ooh, that doesn't work. That's why when I'm giving you advice, yep, it's from the benefit of being stupid. Okay, next one's from Black Raven 1515. Black Raven asks, can you compost plants that are infected with powdery mildew, or do you have to trash or burn them like plants with early or late blight? That's actually a really interesting question. No, definitely, if you can avoid it, do not compost anything with blight or with powdery mildew. It's best to just get those suckers out of your yard. Throw them in your neighbor's yard, throw them in the trash can, throw them at a passing car, throw them over a bridge, throw them in a volcano. I don't care what you do with them, but don't leave them in your yard, okay? Not good. All right, more cookie, let's talk. That's good. Lord Thunder 5 asks, what is the best time to begin using compost tea on seedlings? Well, Lord Thunder, I would not suggest using compost tea until it gets its first set of true leaves. While it has its seed leaves, you know, those 2 little leaves that it comes out with, it's feeding off of those while it sends down the root system. As it gets bigger, you'll notice those seed leaves start to shrivel up. It's sucking all the energy out of those. And once those leaves are dead, it's only using its roots to supply energy. That's when you can start giving it compost tea. So after the seed leaves are gone, then it's going to probably appreciate it a lot more, okay? Done. How long should each batch be used before changing the compost? That's actually a pretty common question. What I do is I throw in my compost, add the water, mix it up, use the compost tea, add some more water, mix it up, use the compost tea, and then pretty much you're not going to get a whole lot more out of that compost. You pretty much used it all up. What you do with that is you just take out the old compost, put it around a plant that needs a little extra nutrition or a little bit something in the soil. You can use it on a house plant or you can use it on your plants out in your garden. Okay, well, my foot fell asleep. Ow. Ow. Okay. Question from Hushdon Boy. Would you consider doing just a few minutes of a fishing trip in one of your upcoming videos? Yes, I will. Skadoosh Move asks, do hens keep laying eggs or do you have to give them hormones to get them to lay? Chickens are basically egg machines. They have been bred through through the generations to lay eggs, and it's not a matter of a mating thing or hatching thing. They just lay eggs. They can't help themselves. Eggs just start falling out of them like Pest. Next. Oh, King of Fustel 1841. Okay, well, you know who you are. King of Fustel 1841 asks, when I put my pineapple outside for a couple months, the leaves went from ½ wide to almost 3 inches wide. Why is this happening? I don't think I'd be worrying about it. I think I'd be reaching around and patting myself on the back, because apparently you're doing something very, very right. So whatever it is, keep doing it, okay? Jackie Bell asks, can I do raised box beds on a slope, or do I need to even them up? You know, I thought about that, and I thought, on a slope, things are just going to run out of it. I would even them up. I would kind of dig into the slope a little bit, and then set them on the flat part that you dug out, dug out like an L and put them in there. That's what I would do. A7X Death Snake is the next one. 2 questions. What's the most difficult plant you grow? You know, you think that'd be an easy question, but it really isn't. The most difficult plant to grow for me, I know this sounds ridiculous, coffee. I have planted coffee seeds that I received from viewers, and I actually ordered some online, and I have yet to get a coffee seed to sprout. And yeah, I know they take 2 months to sprout. I've waited months and months and months, and then I dug them up, and the seeds just turned black. Okay, next part. Oh, the exact opposite. What's the easiest? I don't know, tomato. Next one, MO81779. That doesn't even sound like a name. Anyway, MO says, what kind of grow lights / bulbs do you use? I use those large spirally CFL bulbs. And that's all I use. I don't use any long tubes. I don't use incandescent. I don't use LED. Those are the only kind of bulbs I use. I like them, and they work for me. All right. Next one. How much does it cost to run them? I calculated it out, and it's around $50 to run all the lights. I have so many of them that they do generate a little bit of heat each, and it builds up in that room, and so it basically just moves over into my bedroom in the hallway, so the entire upstairs is heated, even on the coldest days, just by those lights. So I'm getting heat and light for $50, and I can close my vents upstairs and not run my furnace so hard. So I'm actually saving money running my furnace by running my lights up there. So it does save on the heating bill, so that actually knocks down on the cost too. Running CFLs is not as expensive as you might think. Cookie break. The Super Chato. The Super Chato? I would like to know where you get seeds, like good quality seeds. I get them online. And there's a nice website called rareseeds.com. That is a fantastic place. All heirloom seeds, great prices, great quality, very reputable site. I highly recommend them. And in fact, that website is one of the websites that I'm going to be using on my contest that's coming up for one of the prizes, where you can actually shop there. And I'm buying the winner of my contest a shopping spree online for seeds or plants or whatever they want to get, from a selection of, I think, 3 different websites, and that's one of them because that's actually one of my favorites, so I like them. Bright Starlet. 2 questions. Do you have any methods of creating indoor potting soil? Well, I don't create it, I just mix it. I'll use half compost, and then maybe a 1/4 peat moss or some kind of filler like that, and a 1/4 sand or vermiculite, something to lighten it up and give it better drainage. You need soil that is light, fluffy, something that has drainage, and something that has nutrients in it. Those 3 things, if you got those, you got great soil. That's all there is to it. Okay. Oh, there's a part 2. Can I compost in the winter in zone 6? Generally, the spring and fall are the best times because it's not too hot, not too cold. But yeah, you can do it in the wintertime, definitely. Here we go, Mr. Games Rock 1. Have you ever grown a tree from seed? Yes, the first tree I ever grew from seed was a pecan, and that was given to me by Susan from Cross Pecans, the Cross Pecans channel. Yeah, she sent me pecans, and I grew pecan trees. So that was fun. And I'm going to be growing more. I got mangoes, which are trees, cocoa plants, which are trees. I'm trying to sprout apples right now, but I'm not having much luck. I have orange, lemon, yeah, I got quite a bit. And I got another one I'm going to be growing soon. I can't tell you what it is because I still have to order the seed. And it's going to be a strange, stupid, fun plant to grow. Yeah, strange, stupid, and fun. That suits me pretty good, doesn't it? Okay, anyway, how did I do it? I don't know. Put the seed in the dirt and watered it. KR429 wants to know, what is the best way to store seeds over the winter? That is a very interesting question, and actually a very appropriate question for this time of year. What I do is I make sure the seeds are totally dry. Dry those seeds out in the sun, in the window, any way you can, as long as the temperature isn't too high. I mean, don't throw them in the oven, that's ridiculous. But dry your seeds, use old jars, coffee cans, anything that you can. Ziploc bags will work. I toss my seeds in those, put a lid on it, store it in the basement. Incredible Isaac 2 wants to know, number 1, how do I get the bark soil from my orchid to retain water? Oh, I thought you were asking me how I did mine. I'm like, I don't know, I don't have any. Before you plant the seed, put the soil in there, pack it down, get your water, get it hot. You can heat it up on the stove, in the microwave, just get hot water from the faucet as long as you don't have chlorine. But not boiling hot, but very hot, very hot. Pour it in there. Soil will soak up hot water a lot faster than it will cool water. Yeah, I know, weird, huh? Pour it in there, let it soak in, then let it cool down. Put your seed in there, press it down into the soil, push the soil back over it, you're all set. Question number 2, how do I get my orchid to produce keikis? Keikis, by the way, means babies. And I don't know, I've never grown orchids successfully. I've only grown them for a little while and then they just die. If anybody grows orchids and you know, post it in the comments section and help them out, would you? Okay, number 3, how long will a pothos take to mature? A pothos is a vine, and anybody that's had indoor plants generally knows what a pothos is. It's a vine with heart-shaped leaves, not to be confused with a philodendron. A pothos is a really interesting plant. I've grown those for many, many years. Here's a trick you can do. And oh, by the way, a pothos really is never mature. It grows forever. It's indeterminate. It will go as long as it has enough soil and enough light and enough food. So there really is no end to it. Here's a cool trick that you can do. When the vine starts growing out and it starts going down, put another pot of soil there. Let the vine go down into the pot. Put a little soil on there. It'll send down roots from that junction, and then the leaves will actually get bigger from there. And then when it goes down, put another pot down. You'll notice each time that you do that, the leaves will get bigger. And I saw this done in a greenhouse a long time ago, back when I lived in Denver. And I swear those leaves were like this big by that big. And this is a pothos. Yeah, those things get monstrous. And I think the stem was about, 1.5 times thicker than my thumb. It was a monster. And it was just growing along the ground because as it grows, it will put down more and more roots, which make it stronger and stronger and stronger. People that have had pumpkins and watermelons, this is the same principle as a pumpkin or watermelon. They will put down roots and make themselves stronger as they grow along. Do this with a pothos and you're going to just love the results. People are going to come in your house and go, what the heck is that? It's an interesting plant and it's fun to play around with. Okay, the very last question. How long does a ZZ plant take to mature? I've never grown a ZZ plant, but I looked it up and they're actually quite interesting. ZZ plant is basically a plant to grow for people who can't grow anything. Because you really can't kill them. I mean, you could drop kick them and they're going to grow. You can throw them at a wall, they're going to grow. A ZZ plant's a pretty interesting plant, and it just grows and grows and grows. I've never grown it from seed, but they actually look like a pretty interesting plant. Thanks for your questions, everybody. I do appreciate it. That wraps up Weekend Edition, my biggest weekend edition ever. This is Ray at the Voodoo Garden channel. Thanks for tuning in. Talk to you soon. Bye.
What do you think I asked you here for? Company?